the first game we look for, Robbie? Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away? Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away?
What's happening, people? How you doing? I've just noticed we've got two Deans. Let's get rid of one. I only want one Dean tonight.
Oh, man, I logged in fucking twice.
Listen, I'm joined for now. We'll see who else joins us as we go along by a legend of the fan shows. It's Dean. Absolutely loved by so many people in the comments every time. Yeah, you're popular for sure. Yeah, I think most people are probably watching Man City Arsenal, but look,
let me put the top light on
and listen to us if you want. Guys, thank you for watching tonight. Thanks for tuning in. As always, big up yourselves. If you're new to the show, welcome. If you're a regular, welcome back. Do you know, I was thinking tonight, what should we talk about on the fan show? Because I don't want to repeat everything we did on Monday, and then we'll probably end up repeating it again if we don't win tomorrow. But then I thought, you know what? Hold on. The fans weren't on the Monday show, so look, I'm going to let the fans decide which direction the show goes in tonight. We're only going to go live for an hour and a half.
I'll just stop you a minute. I've got an echo.
Okay, because
I've got a delayed thing.
Hold on. What about now?
So I can hear myself coming back. Hello?
Okay, Dean.
Hello?
Go into your settings. Yeah. Go to audio.
Hang on. Where is it? More. Settings. Audio. Yeah.
And then make sure the mic and the speaker are two different devices. Make sure they're not the same. So the mic will be your device and the speaker will be your...
Yeah, it just says default.
What, for both? Guys, sorry about this. Who's watching? We're trying to sort a technical hiccup here. Yeah, put your mic on.
No. Default speakerphone, headphone piece, Bluetooth headset.
Yeah, pick whatever you're listening to for your ears for the speaker. And then there's a little box saying echo cancellation. Tick that box as well. Right. And then we should be okay.
That's it. Yes, that's done. Yeah.
All right, nice.
Can you hear me?
Let's hello to everyone quickly. I can hear you. Let's hello quickly to everyone. Mike Swifty, Michael in the house. We've got Roy. We've got Eddie from Dubai. Big up. Tony Rodriguez, Ronan. I think Liverpool 1-1 at the moment. Interesting. We've got Derek. We've got James. We've got Mike Zappa. Big up, Mike Zappa. James, Seb, and Mick in the house. Thanks for joining. We've got Paul as well. Guys, big up yourselves. Big up everyone. 45 people watching. Smash the like button. Show some love. Dean, I'm going to ask you a quick question. Because I wanted the fans to lead the show tonight, because we've only got an hour and a half, because I'm going to send everyone to Mari's show straight after, because this is Mari's last ever show tonight before he joins Tottenham Away. So I want to make sure everyone goes over.
Who's Mari? Oh, the guy from Florida.
Yeah, Mari's the one from Florida. Passionate Leave You Out fan. Big up of you from the South Stand. Is that Haas or is that Marlon? Yeah, Dean, tomorrow night, I wanted to ask you, are you going to the game tomorrow? And if you are, what's your plans? What are you thinking of doing or not doing?
Yeah, I've got a half day off tomorrow, like I normally do on a week game. So I should be around my mates for free. We'll be leaving probably 4 o'clock, and I will make an effort to come down and join you, like myself personally. Don't know what the other two are doing. Who I'm taking, my best mate and one of his mates who he works with. His son's not going because he has to get up at 5 in the morning. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. So I will have a drink in the Weatherspoons, and I will pop down.
Yeah, listen, if you can tomorrow, make your way down to the protest. We're expecting a big one for the first time. I think there's going to be a bigger protest in the stadium. Listen, there's a few things that are going on that I can't talk about right now, because we've said we're going to keep it quiet because we don't want the club to stop us from doing it. But I'm telling you, they're going to hear about it tomorrow for sure. But Dean, in the stadium, it's a difficult one, right? Because we're Spurs fans. We've got to back the team, right? We've got to support the boys. Yeah. We want Tottenham to win. But at the same time, we've got an issue with Daniel Levy, the board and the owners. So for me, I've always said, well, not always, this is what I've been saying recently, support the team, not the regime. How do we do that? How do we support the team, but not the regime? Because as soon as we pay money, we're supporting them and we're paying money to be there tomorrow. So what's the balance? What are you planning to do? What are you thinking?
Well, I follow other people to a degree, but because a lot of the guys around, there's one or two around me that sing it and all the rest of it, but some don't, some do. I think if we start losing the game heavily, it'll then get really fucking loud. But obviously, we've got to support the team, come on your Spurs, all that sort of stuff. And obviously, if we score, we've got to celebrate. We can't not just stand there, can we? Because we've got to try and get behind the team.
Of course. Absolutely.
But
absolutely.
If there's chanting, I'm in with it. Simple. Like I've always done. All I ever want, like I've said to you many times before, the football club's about the fans, the fan base. Without a fan base, you've got no football team, no football club, have you? Well, you have, but they're in there playing with nobody's watching them. But otherwise, the fucking life sucked out. I mean, I feel like I've had the fucking life sucked out of me over the last few fucking weeks. Although I don't never change what I am, and I'm still going to be passionate and all the rest of it, like I was against Brighton and fucking Bournemouth. I went to both games. I was fucking disgusted at that Bournemouth game how we lost, but still. But I just think, what the fuck is the direction, man? And like Steve Perriman said on that podcast, everything from the club, the ethos comes from the top, and it does. And I just want the ethos to be a lot better than what it is. I mean, if he ain't going to go, if he don't want to step down, then step to one side, let somebody else run the football side without you interfering. Do your hotels and your properties and your organisation with all the stuff that goes on in the stadium. That doesn't interest me. All I'm concerned about is the football team and what happens to that. Let somebody, I don't know, this new guy that's come in, he's from the City Group from Asia and stuff, the rest of it. I know he's supposed to have done great things with out there and all the rest of it. We'll have to see what he does here in the Premier League, because obviously it's a big step up. Now, God, the manager, I mean, that's just a fucking shit show, isn't it, really?
Do you trust them to get it right? Do you trust them to change? Do you trust Levy to do the right thing? Do you trust this new guy that's come in? Because what I'm understanding about this new guy is his specialist area is China. So I'm thinking, Dean, tell me if you think differently. I'm thinking he's got no European football experience. He's got no Premier League football experience. He has got no idea how competitive the Premier League is. He hasn't got a clue about the culture, history of Tottenham Hotspur. He probably doesn't even know who Garth Crooks is or Glenn Hoddle. And he's coming to Tottenham to restructure the football. Like, I'm thinking, are you kidding me? His expertise of China, I'm wondering whether we're about to attack the Chinese market for new fans and some kind of new sponsorship. I'm thinking, is this guy in for money reasons or football? And the more I look into him, I'm thinking, you're more a businessman than what you are a football man. And this is why I'm not, I don't know if I can trust him, Dean. In fact, I know I can't trust him.
Yeah, I mean, look, still, I was not going, obviously, when Levy come into being bought it up from Sugar. I was not going from sort of middle 90s up to about 2014. So I can't comment much on what was going on in those times. I remember fucking Christian Gross and what a fucking disaster that was, and how everybody took the piss out of us for that. So, I mean, I just watched it on TV, of course, but, but obviously getting back into it, it's all started since he got rid of, for me, this has all started since when he got rid of Pochettino and didn't back him properly. That's what's done it for me. And then obviously bringing big name managers in and then buying the players that they don't really want buying second-rate ones after time, and then it's gone downhill. And I think he's had knee-jerk reactions to a degree, you know. And obviously, surely he must have known Paratici was being investigated before he employed him. Surely.
He did know. That's one of the reasons
I mean,
he left
fuck me.
Juventus.
I mean, you any normal company, you wouldn't take the person on, would you? You just wouldn't.
Look, if we were serious, Dean, for me, if we were serious about fixing the football, you bring in Ralph Ragnick. Now, I know he was a disaster as manager at Man United, but in terms of creating a football structure, he did a great job with the RB Leipzig group. You bring in someone like, not this man, okay, before the Spurs fans jump at me, not this man, but someone like him, Arsene Wenger, because he's a football brain and he can work in a boardroom. He's currently doing it for UEFA or FIFA. I can't remember which one. They're the kind of people you bring in and say, right, you're in charge of football. You sort out the manager. You sort out the scouts. You change the structure. You look at the academy. Does it need refreshing? How do we fix the football team and bring it all together and say, you're in charge? You say, there's your money. You've got this much money to spend each year. Or at the end of each year, you tell them how much they're going to have to spend. And then it's down to them to make that budget work. It's down to them to decide how they spend the money. If they want to sell some players, even if it's your best player, to bring that money in, to pump it back into the project, you let them do it. All you do is run the business. Just run the business. Run the finances. Run the property. Run the maintenance of the club, the operations, the legal, the marketing. Do that. And let football people come in. For me, Ralph Ragnick, Arsene Wenger, those kinds of people are what you want to bring in. I'm sure there's others like that. But this guy, Scott Munn, honestly, does anything about him tell you best in class, best in the business, top of the game for the role that Spurs needs? And we need drastic change, Dean. It's not a couple of tweaks. We need a major change in so many ways.
Yeah. I mean, I'd never heard of him. Nothing. I mean, I know he's got Melbourne City to 2 championships in Australia and now a probable third one. But I mean that standard of football.
Melbourne City. We're up against Man City. We're up against Man United. We're up against Newcastle with endless money. We're up against Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal. Even Aston Villa and Brighton are breathing down our necks. We're not up against the Sydney Crocodiles and the Brisbane Bears. You know, we're up against, no disrespect to Australians, but we're up against some of the biggest teams in world football, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I'm going to say about him coming is that will he know and will he have what's going on in the leagues in China and in the Far East, a la like Brighton, where they brought, is it Matoma, Japanese guy? Got him for a few quid.
Yeah, look, he probably does know. He probably does, yeah. He probably does, yeah. You may well get a gem from that. Who knows? You don't know, do you? But apart from that, I don't know. I mean, he's not like a European guy that we could pick from the Dutch league or something like that, who literally, you know, bring players through as young and as projects and stuff like that, which you'd recognise and you think, well, yeah, this is the type of person you want in the football club. You know, I don't know how they've gone about recruiting this guy. It's I'll tell you how. He's a yes man. He wears a suit.
Yeah.
And he's a business guy, so he's one of Levy's mold. Just want to quickly respond to James Flower. Big ups, James, for watching the show. Can you stream the protest tomorrow? Okay, Eugene from Spurs Wasian. So if you type in Spurs Wasian into YouTube, he'll be doing a protest stream tomorrow. I'll be doing some videos. I'll be uploading as the protests go on. I'll be uploading from the stadium. Iggy. We'll be doing a live watch along on Tottenham Away tomorrow on our channel. I'll be feeding stuff to Iggy. So if you just bounce around our channel and other channels that I know that are going to be doing stuff from the protest, you'll get your content. That's the best I can offer you at the moment, James. I just want to say as well, there's a movement that is going on. You can check out Brian Daigle's Twitter. If you go to Brian Daigle, at Brian Daigle, purple and gold until Tottenham are sold. It's basically what we're going to be doing. Not me specifically, but it's all part of the ENIC Out, Levy Out group. We're going to be having ENIC Out, Levy Out scarves that are going to be, I think, on sale, or people are going to be able to have them. And these scarves are basically in black and purple and gold. We're not wearing Spurs colours until they're gone. We don't want any link to the ENIC Out, Levy Out colours to be the same as the club, because we don't believe they represent the best of Tottenham. ENIC and Levy do not represent Tottenham. So we're going to wear different colours, purple and gold. That's going to be the colour of the scarf. And that's one of many things that are going to be going on as the campaign against the owners, the chairman, and the protests escalates. Just to let you know, you can find out more from Brian Daigle on his Twitter page. And even this man here, Richard Cracknell, even he's now on board. I've been a Spurs fan since '76, so this is, I'm sure this is a man close to Dean's heart. This is the era you guys are fond of. I've named my 2 sons after Tottenham players and managers. I cannot stand by and watch this board wipe that out. I'm going tomorrow night to register my disapproval of this current board, killing this club's heritage since 1882. I cannot agree anymore. And Dean, isn't that what it's about? The disconnect between fans and the club. This isn't Tottenham anymore. We know football's changed. We know it's more business, but they're ripping the soul out of the club. I mean, you're someone that's seen the best of Tottenham. Do you feel that what Tottenham is about is still there? Is it still alive?
There is a disconnect. I mean, obviously, older ones like me and remember, sort of like winning the FA Cups and the UEFA Cups in the 1980s. It was mainly really the supporters were mainly younger and older guys. You got the odd lady that went, but not like you would do now. You never got loads of families because it was totally different. There was violence. The stadiums were fenced in, so you couldn't run on a pitch, cause trouble, stuff like it. It was a totally different era. But I mean, the songs that we had back in them days, 80% of them are gone. 80% of them. Some of them are not relative nowadays, maybe. But now, loads of those songs have gone. If you take Liverpool, for instance.
Yes! 2-0, Man City.
It's done, mate. It's all over. They're done. They're going to end up with like us. Fuck all. Apart from getting in the Champions League.
Pentagon, hexagon, octagon, title gun.
Brilliant. That'll be all over Twitter, won't it?
That'd
be fucking quite out, yeah.
The wheels are coming
that's brilliant, isn't it? Yeah, that's brilliant, isn't it? That had to be done, though. Somebody's done it brilliantly, haven't they?
Do you like this one? This is a new sex position. It's called the Arsenal. You go on top and do nothing. Anyway, I'm not going to go too early. There's still 45 minutes. Anything can happen. But I'm just enjoying the moment. I've got to enjoy the moment. You've got to enjoy the moment. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you, man.
Going back to the ethos, like the fans and stuff like that. I think you take Liverpool, for instance. Of all the, they've not been massive spenders, have they? They've been sort of like we have, and they've obviously Klopp's done a fantastic job and all the rest of it. But they've still got that ethos with a fan base, haven't they? They've still got that with a fan base. They've still got that connection. You don't. I mean, I know they're run by Americans, aren't they? But they've still got that ethos. They haven't sort of got a disconnection with their hierarchy like us and fucking Everton. Who've lost totally, they've totally lost it. They have, poor buggers. They're worse than what we are. Like I said to you the other day, I wish we had 60,000 fans like me in the stadium. You wouldn't lose many home games.
Do you know what, Dean? I've got one of my Liverpool friends who said to me, I'll try, Graham. I got one of my Liverpool friends that says to me, "All you do is moan about Levy and ENIC. You blame everything on them. All you ever do, ENIC this, Levy that." And I said to him, "Mate, we've won one trophy in 23 years. Some of it, fair enough, it's not their fault, but a lot of it is down to their decision making at key moments of an attempt for us to win a trophy. Like, have you ever sat your manager 5 days before a cup final? No. Have you ever gone and bought different players to what the manager wants? Never. Have you ever gone and sacked 3 managers in the space of? We had Conte in March, Stellini in April. We're going May with Mason. I mean, it's just. I think I've got a picture of this actually. I'm sure I've got a picture of it. Yeah, look. March, April, May. I'm like, why should I say good things about ENIC and Levy? And he goes to me, "You're lucky you ain't got American owners like ours." I've said, "You fucking kidding me? Your owners have won you the Premier League, first time in 30 years. You won the Champions League. You won the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, the Super Cup. You've won 5 trophies. You've won everything under your owners. If we had that at Tottenham, bloody hell, we wouldn't stop talking about it for the next 60 years. Like,
we won't be moaning either.
Do you think we're ungrateful? Or do you think we've got a point?
Yeah, we've got a point. Something I wanted to bring up with you.
Yeah, tell me.
That Cambridge Union interview.
Yeah.
What I want to know is, why are we not addressed like that? You know, why are we not addressed? Why has it got to be the Cambridge Union? Why?
Do you know what? A few people have asked that. He's happy to go and talk to a group of students at one of the best universities in the world, but he won't come and talk to his own fans. And Dean, do you know what? Do you think it's just because he's in his comfort zone because that's where he studied, and
probably
maybe the questions have been pre-planned, and he? Do you think he fears the fans, Dean? Do you think he's scared of having to address the fans because he knows?
Well, probably because you who told me the story about Alan Sugar when the fans went round his house. Yeah,
that's right. Graham, you've met Graham at the protests. Him and a few others went round to Sir Alan Sugar's house. But Sir Alan Sugar came out and he spoke to them. He was honest, and he said to them, "Look, I'm going to be selling the club. I can't take the club any further. I haven't got the money for what's needed. I'm going to sell it to people that do have the money. What they do, though, I don't know, but I am selling the club." And then the protesters, they were, I did, Matthew. Then the protesters, they were quite respectful of Alan Sugar because he actually gave them time and spoke to them. Everything that Daniel Levy's not doing, basically. And I think, Dean, do you know what?
Yeah.
I think he's scared of the fans. And he did that Cambridge Union interview to try and come across like he's a people guy. But he's, like you said, though, Dean, he's doing it with the wrong people.
Yeah.
Like we're the ones. Yes. We're the customers. We're the mugs. We're the ones funding his projects. So
most supporters that go to the game, apart from people going to boxes, blah blah blah. Well, a lot of them, I mean, I've got a friend who's a Ipswich fan, and his boss has got a box at Spurs, and he goes there quite often, and he totally enjoys it. It's not for me, but
yeah,
the real fans are working class fans. That's what I call real fans. Not people that sit in a box and do all that stuff. Yeah, it might be nice to go there for one time, but you got to behave yourself, and you can't shout and swear and all the rest of it. That's no good for me. That's no good for my constitution, that ain't. It's that everything about going to watch a football game is all about forgetting about your job at work. It's a total release from normal life, being a football fan. And when you go on a day, it's fucking fantastic, and you're excited, and you either have a shit day because you lose, or you have a brilliant day if you win. And that's football, basically. And I love it. And I miss it in the summer. I miss it terribly in the summer. That's why I run a motorcycle, because that gets me near the excitement. So I just, anyway. I'll let you talk to Matthew.
Yeah, no, it's good to hear this because I think fans need to understand what the club, what it means to all fans, not just the younger fans who only know Pochettino and Harry Redknapp, and maybe fans that know what the 90s were like or how great the 80s were, or even some fans that know what it's like to get relegated and then come back up, you know, fans from the 70s and even some of the older fans from the 60s who can tell us what a league title looks like and things like that. Before I come to Matthew, I just want to say I've just put in the link now. I've just posted it, guys. It's the no, I've put it in the wrong show. Whoops. I've just posted it now. That's the link to Spurswasion, who's going to be doing the live protest tomorrow. So save the link.
You're right, Matthew.
Hopefully he can give you the content you want.
Yeah, I'm
Matt,
good,
how
thank
doing,
you. Yeah, good. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I mean, perfect timing. Arsenal 2-0 down. So, you know, all of a sudden the day looks a little bit better.
How sad is it, Matthew, that our season depends on Arsenal not winning the league, and that's all we've really got realistically left?
Yeah, I think it's just a reflection of, I say we, Daniel Levy has made mistake after mistake after mistake, and we're on the receiving end of these mistakes he keeps making. So the only crumb of kind of enjoyment now is seeing Arsenal kind of choke. That's the only thing. It's the only thing I've got left, really. Watch them lose the league.
I know, it's unbelievable. Matthew, what do you think or expect tomorrow is going to happen? Because I've been in this position for 5 years where people say they're going to come to the protest. People say that, you know, enough's enough, and then they don't turn up. And then in the stadium, it's not toxic at all, or we're not voicing our opinion strongly enough against the board. And literally, if we win a game, that's it. The top four race is back on. Mason's in charge. You see, it was all Stellini and Conte, but if we lose, it's going to be parabolic in there. It's going to absolutely discombobulate. We're talking DEFCON 1, I reckon. What are you expecting as a fan, and what do you realistically think will happen?
I think it will be tense. I think the atmosphere will be, I don't want to say toxic, but I think the atmosphere is going to be different. Strangely, I also think the Pochettino, if that gets announced tomorrow as well, I think it's all going to tip the remaining Levy kind of supporters. I think that's going to tip the last few over the edge. So I think, to answer your question, I think it's going to be comfortable for Levy. I agree with you. If we somehow freak a result, that might keep a few fans back on side. But I think it's going to be very, very uncomfortable for him before the game and during the game. I always want Spurs to win, but I'm just kind of, if we were to lose, how severe it would become.
I think Matthew's frozen. Okay, you froze, but you unfroze. Rathish, let me bring you in. How you doing, Rathish? You all right, mate? Are you ready for tomorrow? We don't know what's going to happen, but something's going to happen for sure.
I'm doing all right. Thank you very much. Still, hey Matthew, Dean. Yeah, I mean, just to echo what Matt said is very true because I think tomorrow's game against Man United, I feel the important thing is like before kickoff, how many would turn up for a protest. I mentioned this briefly on Tottenham on Tour with Brian Daigle. Big up to him. I went on his program after Newcastle. I said to him that as a football club, we need a whole reset. Like we have to start all over again. And I think in a short, it's like the old saying goes, short-term pain for long-term gain, if that makes sense. I think on the field, I mean, how the game is going to play out. I think obviously Bruno's not playing tomorrow, but they still got some dangerous attackers, and Rashford against Eric Dyer is certainly a recipe for disaster.
They've got Ericsson, they've got Stabitzer, they've still got Casemiro,
Anthony as well, Anthony,
Rashford, Jadon Sancho. I think when they don't have Bruno, their success rate isn't actually too good. Do you know what? I'm so torn tomorrow, Rathish, because as a Spurs fan, I always want to win. Like Dean said earlier, if we score, you can't not cheer, right? Yeah. Unless you're 7-0 down and you score one, then you're like, what's the point? But part of me knows for there to be change, real change, we can't get a result tomorrow. Because if we get a result, top four talk's going to start again. And then the momentum of Levy out is then going to start dialing back again. And I'm torn. Like, if I want Levy and Enoch out, I want Man United to win. But if I'm a Spurs fan, I want Spurs to win. Like, I don't know. I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do.
And that's the thing, isn't it? Like, it's like a double-edged sword because at this moment in time, we're as a football club, we're in absolute limbo. Like, so much turmoil. There's been a lot of negativity, and rightfully so, for all the wrong reasons. And obviously, we can all agree it starts at the very top. I mean, I think we've covered this a lot. Like before kickoff, the protest. I think it's good that even some of the Levy apologists, to use the term, they're finally getting on board now. That 6-1 shellacking this past weekend was the turning point. They've woken up to the bigger picture, and I feel so sorry for Pape Sarr in that Newcastle game to be hooked off. I mean, he didn't do anything wrong, I mean, as a team, like, no one deserved pass marks. No one had ratings in that performance because I feel so sorry for the Spurs fan base to travel all the way up to Tyneside. What is it? 4 hours, 5-6 hours? Like, it's such a long trip. And they deserve their money back. I mean, the statements that have come out, obviously, concerning fan advisory board, and it's just typical lip service.
That was a motion passed a couple of years ago by government. That was a government intervention a couple of years ago. Then Tottenham aren't doing this. They've been forced to do it by the government. Every club's got to do it. They're just like they're doing it. They're announcing it now because of the absolute turmoil that we're in.
Yeah, I think there's not much to add because, I mean, as I said a few minutes ago about the Man United game, like you normally you have that small percentage in your brain where you have hope. Like, of course, you always want Spurs to win no matter what. I mean, but I think in a long term, I think the main priority is to focus on the bigger problems. Obviously, the ownership, not just Daniel Levy, but Joe Lewis, Donna Cullen, and so on and so forth. Because we need to start having footballing people running the footballing side of things. So dream scenario would be someone like a Ralph Ratnick. He's football savvy. He knows, in whichever football club you're in, like what players would be able to bring in to suit the manager's needs, rather than just buying random players like a kid in a sweet shop. So that's what we're trying to prioritize going forward.
Tomorrow night, we've got Manchester United. Now, Dean and I earlier were talking how we've been through quite a few managers this year. March was Conte, April Stellini. We're going to go into May with Ryan Mason. There he is, good old Ryan. And the current search for the new manager is up and running. There they are, all waiting to be interviewed by Daniel Levy, all the next victims, the clowns. But jokes aside, it's not a joke, actually, it's true, isn't it? Do you think Ryan Mason can do anything? Do any of you believe that he can turn this around with 6 games to go? Do you think that he could get a tune out of these players? And actually, it's not the players, it's just the manager. Or are you expecting just more of the same?
I think with Ryan Mason, I feel obviously whenever a new manager comes in, you'd expect a bounce where players would automatically perform. I mean, when he took over the first time from Jose, you know, in 2021 season towards the back end, at the time we played some good football towards the end. I remember beating Leicester away 4-2, stuff like that, beating Sheffield United 4-1. But obviously, he does have flaws and limitations. I mean, it's not his fault necessarily that he's got the job now. Obviously, you want him to see him try his best, but ultimately, what qualifications has he got to take charge of a team that's trying to push for European football? I mean, he's got a tough start, not just tomorrow night against Man U, but also obviously a trip to Anfield. I know Liverpool are currently drawing as we speak against West Ham, but Liverpool will automatically perform because it's Anfield and we don't have the best record there. Aston Villa away, Emery's doing really well. I mean, they're real contenders for Europe, and that's the thing. It's got some tough games. I feel the first thing what Mason's got to do is get back to basics. But the problem is he's working with the same group of players that's letting the last 2 managers down, Conte and Stellini, throughout this season. So I think he doesn't want to overcomplicate things. He has to, just get back to the drawing board, just pick a system that the players would adhere to. But yeah.
What about you, Matthew? What are you thinking? Yeah. Can Mason turn it around?
I think there will be turn it around. I'm not sure like the definition of turning it around. We'll run more kilometers. We'll probably have a little bit more possession. We'll be a little bit more harder to beat. But the Conte remark about they don't like to play under pressure, I think we don't have the skill set. The moment if you think about this season, anytime we've been under any concerted amount of pressure, we've folded, we've conceded. We've never games if you watch this season where we've had a 15-minute spell, we can't get out of a half, and it's resulted in a goal. So I think competitive until Man U score for me tomorrow. I think if we get the first goal, who knows? But I think if Man United score first, I think we could be in trouble. But there will be a certain new manager bounce. I would think that would probably, at some stage over the next 2 or 3 games, we'll possibly get a draw in, whether it be Man United or Liverpool. I could see maybe us just eking out a draw in one of them games. But the bottom line is we're just not good enough. I'm just going to say this now, and I've thought it for a few weeks now. What's the difference between and Jed Spence? What's the difference?
Yeah.
I've watched him play for Rennes. I don't see the difference. I'd probably say Jed Spence is probably more physically suited to the Premier League. He's more of an athlete. It's just a typical another bad decision. Yeah, well, 40 million for Porro, another defender that can't defend. it just is baffling. We send Spence out on a loan because he can't defend, and we spend 40 million on Porro, who can't defend. Someone just help me out. You've got Porro can't defend. You've got Perisic can't defend. You've got Eric Dyer can't defend. So all of a sudden, Romero, who is having a different spell, I think he's puzzled. He looks confused. He looks vacant. I think he's looking around thinking, I'm in trouble here. And I think he's making rash decisions. He's getting pulled over the place. I think he needs at least 3 defenders in the summer to calm him down.
Yeah, could say that.
Just want to say thank you to Jack Pierce for becoming a member. Big up, Jack. Appreciate you becoming a member of the channel. Dean, what about you? Ryan Mason, can he get a tune out of these players? Can he turn it around? Or are we asking for too much? Or is it?
That's difficult, isn't it? You know, depends how much I respect him, I suppose. I suppose he's well liked. But you see, that's his tactical nous, isn't it, really? I mean, he's not actually managed the football team. Look, God bless him, and he's a Tottenham boy and all the rest of it, and I wish him to do well. But I've got my doubts, of course, obviously. I think the only way you're going to shore up anything is Davis fit tomorrow, by the way.
He's in training, but they're going to assess him today, they said. If anything, he might come on as a sub. In fact, I don't know. We're going to find out tomorrow. He's in training though.
Well, if he was
fit, I don't know.
If he was fit, I'd have him at left back. I wouldn't play.
Perisic.
No, I wouldn't play him. I'd drop him.
Yeah, 100%. No question of a doubt.
I'll drop Cooley, and I'd give the low knee guy a run out. That's what I would do if that was me. And I'd have 3 across the midfield. And I know that didn't work last time, but he's going to go 4 across the back.
Who would you play at right back? Who would you play at right back?
That's difficult, isn't it? Because we ain't fucking got anybody else. Who have we got apart from Porro? You tell me. Because Everson ain't playing, is he? Because normally he probably would play him, wouldn't he?
Tanganga?
In defence.
Tanganga?
He's going to play 4 at the back.
I'll try Tanganga.
To be fair, when he first come into the team, he played all right when he first came in. He wasn't too bad. Yep. But I don't know what's happened to him. He seemed to have gone off a bit of a cliff, but he's probably not getting enough games to be fair. But
I remember he played against Man City, didn't he? Not Jack Grealish. Was that the start of last season? I think he was really good against Jack Grealish. Sure. Under Santos. Didn't he start the first game? I think he did, didn't he? And I think he marked Grealish and Sterling really well.
He did play well, yeah. He did play well, yeah. He did, yeah. He's right back, not centre back.
Honestly, I would try Tanganga. I think Porro.
The problem is with that system is you've got to push up. You have to press. You have to press. You have to push up with that system. That's the problem. And if you haven't got the players,
Liverpool 2-1 up. By the way, Liverpool 2-1 up. Matip scored.
Cross, he's a big old.
Do you know what? We're not getting top 4 anyway. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah,
it doesn't bother me. Our battle is for Europa Cup, but I think Aston Villa will get that. I've said it all along. I think we're going to be in the European Conference League next year. I honestly believe it.
Oh, come on, Star. That's just a shower of shit, that fucking competition. Who wants to fucking be in that thing? It's like playing on a Sunday league, isn't it?
Well, I never said I wanted to be in it. It's just that's what I think we're gonna. I don't want to be watching the football I'm watching, but that's what we're getting served up, right?
I mean, my mate said I'd sooner finish 8th and not have European football. I'd rather have just playing in the home competitions next year and sort shit out, sort the manager out, sort the team out, and take it from there. Because you got to start again, basically, haven't you?
Sorry.
While I think about it, I've got what?
Sorry, Dean, 1 second. Yep, no, he's found it. Don't worry. I was just going to send Michael the link, but he's found it. Cool. Sorry, Dean. Carry on.
Right.
Michael.
Okay. So, what I wanted to bring up was, while I think about Emerson, did you hear the report that his father's his agent, isn't he?
I think his dad's smoking crack. If he thinks his son's going to go to Real Madrid, I don't know what planet he's on. Like, honestly, I don't care if you're his dad, his uncle, his pet rabbit, his agent. If you think Emerson Royale is better than this, he's part of the problem. Yeah. He's part of this mess.
Yeah, mate.
He's one of many reasons we're in this mess. Do you know what I mean?
I had to laugh when he come out and said that he wants to go to a better club. Oh, fuck me to win trophies. You're having a fucking laugh.
I swear to God, boys, Haaland
Arsenal,
is fucking telling it.
3-0.
Haaland
Get
is
in
second.
there.
No. Oh, okay. Now he
Haaland
scored.
scored.
Okay.
Haaland scored.
Okay, now he scored because
Can you smell
No, it's
what
KDB.
Man
It's KDB,
City
but-
is cooking?
I've got Haaland and KDB in my fantasy team, so yeah, happy with that.
I went for Salah because I'm a moron.
Pentagon,
I
hexagon,
wanted to
octagon,
go for
title gone.
KDB.
Title
but-
gone. Enjoy Arsenal. Enjoy. I just want to quickly say thank you to our channel sponsors. Surrender Ale, brewed in Woolwich for wankers. Thank you for sponsoring our channel. Appreciate all your love. Michael, sorry, mate. Carry on.
Yeah, like oh Jesus, it's fun watching, Arsenal getting slapped. That's the only thing left in this season.
Exactly. It's all we've got left.
Yeah.
It's all we've got left.
By the way, they are absolutely like you can see in the players' size that they are fucking shitting bricks. I swear to God, like City, it's typical boys versus men. It's like that's the definition, because like Arsenal, they cannot string like 5 passes together. I know it's still 5 passes better than us, right? But yeah, City are absolutely playing them off the park.
Yeah, Michael. Also to add to what you're saying,
Stout.
I know we're doing
Yeah.
terribly. Yeah.
Just to
Matthew,
say,
sorry,
Phil,
sorry,
I've got to pop
continue.
down
I'll
and pick
ask
the
you
missus
after.
up, and I'll be back later.
No,
Still,
go.
sorry, lads. Still,
Yes.
who's this link with this other guy you're talking about?
If
Mari.
you just go to Mari Spurs channel, Mahri Mari Spurs channel, we'll all be on there from 10 o'clock onwards. Mari Spurs channel.
Does it?
Dean,
Does he
Dean,
allow you on?
if you, yeah, he knows my. Dean, if you message me in WhatsApp, I'll send you a link. Mari Spurs channel. I'll be on there at 10.
Well, okay. I'll speak to you later, boys.
I'll take care, Dean. See you later.
Take
Good night,
care.
Dean.
Bye.
Oh.
Bye.
They are doing the Poznan, the cunts.
And I was going to say very quickly, like I know we're down in the dumps at the minute, but doesn't matter how crap we're performing, you can always rely on that lot to cheer you up, And it's satisfying because you know what it is? A small group of their fans running their mouth, thinking they're the Johnny Big Bullets. They're gonna fly. They're just gonna walk the league back down to earth.
Yeah. The funniest part for me is how defensive they get when you call them bottle jobs. They associate this term so much with Tottenham that they are bottle jobs. They are bottling the fuck out of this league. And you cannot change that, right? And they get so irritated when you call them bottle jobs, because that's the thing that they fear the most, right? Is becoming like us, like they think of us, right? And my God, like they called our 15-16 season bottle job, right? When we weren't at the top of the table for any single game week, right? They have been top of the table for the whole fucking season, and now they are getting schooled by City, absolutely clapped, and I love it. As I said, one thing left of this season is watching them getting crapped on.
Listen, sorry.
With all due respect to Arsenal fans who are reasonable, right? Because there are some Arsenal fans who come on the show and they are reasonable, right? But
Yeah, they're rational.
some of them, yeah.
I want that fraud Stefan on the show. Stefan, if you are watching, get your fraud
That's what I
ass
was
on
gonna
the show
do.
right now and tell me about your clutch players, your clutch manager. I want to hear about Arsene Wenger. I want to hear about Mikel Arteta. I want to hear about this Arsenal heritage. Bring your ass on here and tell me about this fraud. This absolute fraud that I told you about.
So,
where are you, Stefan? I know you're watching.
that was the question.
I know you're watching. Come on.
Get me to it, Stal. I was going to ask you that question. Where is Mr. Arsenal? That only comes on the Spurs show, not to gloat, but every question is loaded with something in it. Please, the show today, please.
He's on Amazon ordering another box of Andrex toilet tissues. That's what he's doing.
Oh Jesus!
Please.
By the way,
I cannot wait for him.
By the way, Chelsea
we will never see him again. He will never show
Chelsea-
his face again. Oh,
Ch-
sorry, go on.
Chelsea are losing 2-0 to Brentford at home. That's another great thing that's happening. And Brighton are losing 2-1 to Forest away. So, like it's just seem fitting that when everyone around us is shooting bricks, then we will shoot bricks tomorrow too, right? So you just know we are getting slapped tomorrow because if Brighton are
cannot
losing
predict
points,
anything, can you? That's the Premier League in a nutshell.
yeah. Honestly, other than Tottenham, right? If you don't look at Tottenham, this season has been it's so entertaining. Other than Tottenham, right? Watching our games is absolute shit if you are a Spurs fan, right? But other than that, the relegation battle is amazing. The even the title battle is amazing, right? The battle for European spots, there are teams that haven't really fought for European spots for a long time, right? So yeah, I really enjoy watching Premier League this season. Other than Tottenham again, right? It's
Yeah.
Do you know what? It has been an exciting season. If you think about it, the Champions League, you've got 2 Italian clubs in a Milan derby is just phenomenal. I mean, that's going to be brilliant to watch. Man City look like they might be on course to do the treble. I mean, look, as much as we might not like Man City, it's going to be an unbelievable thing if they do it, especially because the only other club that's done it are their Manchester rivals. So there's a lot riding on that. So Man United really need to win that FA Cup final against Man City, a Manchester FA Cup final. That's amazing as well. And then Arsenal imploding, shitting themselves. It's great to watch, guys. You're right, Michael. Everything other than Tottenham is great to watch.
FA Cup finals put forward to 3 p.m. Not the usual 4:30 because of travel. So it's early start for the FA Cup final, 3 p.m.
Yeah, I wonder how all those fans from Manchester get to London, right? Because like the trains will be overcrowded. So I wonder how the English government does that, right? Solve that.
I don't know how we get by each day in the UK. To be fair with you, Michael, we just kind of wing it. That's kind of how it's a bit like Daniel Levy. We make it up as we go along,
Yeah.
And then just pray that something lands. But I want to go back to tomorrow's game because I don't know if you guys watched the show the other day. I kind of broke down every goal, and there's one image in particular which a lot of people.
I love those screenshots, Darius, right? I use them in plenty of my own group chats.
Take whatever you want. Take whatever you want. But this 4 at the back, 3 in the middle, 3 up top. Even if you go 4-2-3-1, if you're going to play a 4, they need to know where to be and when to be. And I always say it's what you do off the ball that matters more than anything else. So out of possession, or when you've got possession but you're not on the ball, where are you? What's the movement? And look, say anything you want. When Willock passed that ball, that amazing pass for the goal, look at our 4-3-3.
This one, my favorite.
Half of the back four's is missing, and then we're wondering how they scored, right? So I'm just I'm concerned. I'm concerned if Ryan Mason goes to a back 4. Dio, I'll bring you on in just 1 second. I can see you in the back. I'm concerned if we go to a back 4. Not that maybe we can't defend, although we can't. It's more they can't keep the shape. You can't just have half the 4 missing because they're not used to it. And you've got to be used to something for it to work. And that's why you've got to keep, we call it repetition of the practice. Keep repeating it, repeat. A bit like martial arts. Practice your punch, practice your kick, whatever. And eventually you'll master the technique and you'll know what's going on around you if you're in a team.
Yeah, it's muscle
memory. We've never done it.
Right?
We haven't played a back 4 all for 1.5 years. So to suddenly go to a back 4 and think, oh, that'll click. I'm sorry, I don't think it does. I want to get your thoughts on the back 4. What do you think of it? Dio, welcome to the show. I think it's the first time you're on. Welcome, bro.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. How do I sound?
Yeah,
you sound all right.
All right.
Yeah.
Where are you from, Dio? Very quickly.
I'm from Orange County, California.
Oh, lovely, beautiful.
Yeah,
I've traveled the whole West Coast.
I've heard you mention it. Yeah, more of a SF Spur guy. I lived there for 8 years. Great community up there of Spurs fans. Yid Harvey. We had some 80-year-old Yid Spurs fan. Been there for the '61 championship. He was just like a walking folklore out there. It was dope.
Listen,
Nice.
I'll come to you. I'll come to you in just a minute. I want to go back to Michael, and we'll come around. I want to get your opinion on the back four. Michael, you were just talking about it.
Yeah. So, like in my opinion, the most important thing that some of our fans need to understand is that, and you said plenty of times, Stelios, right? The formation is just like how the players walk out, right, from the dugout. The way you play the formation is a much different thing, right? You can play in an extremely defensive back four, or a flat four, on the edge of the box, whatever, right? And you can play in an extremely offensive back four when two of the fullbacks go ahead, right? You can play the elbow tactic when one of the fullbacks goes further up the pitch and the other one stays back, right, and forms a kind of a back three. So for me, it's not really about the formation. For me, it's about what is happening inside of our players' heads, right? And as you said, when they played this back four against Newcastle, they had no fucking clue where they are on the pitch. They seriously, the screenshot that you just shown is like the worst offender, right, out of everything. But pretty much every single goal, they didn't know what to do, right? And neither did the midfield, right? They are so used to playing in a like double pivot, right, or however you want to call it, a midfield pairing, that it doesn't work, right? For me, we should revert back to a back three like we played under Conte, not because I enjoy it more or whatever, right? I just think that it's about muscle memory and habits, right? Those players have been playing the back three system for 1.5 years, right? So for me, it would be much safer for them to reverse back to back three so that they don't have to think as much about where they are and who to cover and what responsibilities they have, right? Because they should know it, right? I know they've been absolutely dog shit in terms of defending, but still the performances in a back three were much better than the shit that we saw on Sunday, right? So for me, we should revert back to a back three, and I don't mind trying to implement a back four, but not after 2 trainings with Mason and against Manchester United. That's a no-go for me.
It's hard to disagree with a lot of that. Let me bring in Dio, and then I'll come back to Matthew and then Rathish. Dio, I don't know how much you know about football. I don't know how deep you are into it, but you're a Spurs fan, so I'm guessing you know a thing or two. What's your thoughts on the back four? Is it something that we should try under Mason, or is it a case of, nah, I mean, where are you at with it?
I think we had, if there was ever a time to run that four in the back, it wasn't now with the injuries we had at the moment. With Ben Davies gone or down, with lacking the midfield to have rotation for, if someone went down, if, Pape Sarr, Skip, Højbjerg, if they're going to go down, who we plugging into that midfield? Kind of what everyone else has said before. We just don't have the depth. We clearly saw that it took us time to figure out how to play against Newcastle in that formation. And by the time, I think, we already, 3 down, maybe 4 down by that point, we switched. It didn't really matter, even if we had kind of got sunk into that formation. So moving forward, I think it's just going to be safer with the players we have and the injuries we've sustained just to stay with 3 in the back.
Yeah, I think it makes more logical sense as well. But one thing that did concern me was, I don't know if you guys heard the Ryan Mason interview today. He said, I'm going to stamp my way on the team. And I'm thinking, oh boy, more changes. I don't know how this is going to go down. But listen, we're going to find out tomorrow. Matthew, back 4, back 3, back 5, back 10. What does it take?
Yeah, I think you could mix and match the formations. I think we've got players that are out of form, no direction, no management. So there's an easy excuse for the players, But personally, I can understand what Ryan Mason's trying to say. I can understand kind of getting back to basics, but, we've got so many players out of form. You're bringing players off the bench that were on the bench for a reason, So Sanchez comes on after 20 minutes or whatever, who was substituted himself after being a substitute. So, yeah, at the moment, it's kind of like, the Suicide Squad that we've got at the moment. It's just a bunch of misfits, really. But I think Dean mentioned earlier, which I agree with. I think Kulu definitely needs to be on the bench. I was surprised that he started after Danjuma scoring against Bournemouth. I didn't understand why he didn't get a start against Newcastle. So I think go back to 3, just simply because of the fullbacks that we got. We need protection.
Yeah.
I would probably drop Kulu and have another body in midfield against Man United. But I'd really love to see Danjuma get a start. I'm not sure if he's going to get one, but I think he deserves a start.
I have a question, boys, by the way, about the back 3 and back 4, right? Do you think that Stellini chose to play a back 4 just because of the injuries? Because I feel like after what happened with Sanchez during Bournemouth game, because he had 2 choices, right? Davies and Davies and Langley were injured for that game, right? They were only on the bench, so we can assume that they weren't fit to play the whole game, right? So he either had the choice of starting Sanchez in a back 3 or not starting Sanchez, right? The decision to not start him and to go with a back 4 with Porro and Perisic on either side was turned out to be really bad, right? But in theory, before the game, was it such a bad choice considering what happened again with Sanchez during the Bournemouth game? Because again, it turned out to be really bad, right? But I mean, it's hard to think about it, right?
I just thought it was a strange change, Newcastle away. I just thought that, not that we've been great against the bottom 3, by the way. We just about limped home against Forest at home, and obviously drew with Everton. But I just thought it was a strange change against Newcastle away from home. I just think if you had to name 5 or 6 teams that you don't gamble against away from home, I think are they unbeaten at St James's Park? I think they're unbeaten this season. Is that right?
No, Liverpool.
Yeah, one game they've lost at home. Yeah,
They've got the best defensive record in the league, though.
I thought it was crazy. I thought to gamble with the fullbacks that we've got at St James's Park, and we're in no form. I thought it was a recipe for disaster.
Yeah,
I personally think if we went to a back 3, we would have lost maybe 3-0.
Yes.
I think with the back 4, it was 3-0 after 8 minutes. I think that any team that comes at us, the midfield is finished. Højbjerg and Skip have proven to me they cannot work together. It does not work unless the opposition's midfield is worse than ours. I get why he started Sarr, but I think you never ever do that. Never ever start all your midfielders. If one gets injured, now what? Yeah. Then what? There was nothing on the bench by doing that. Don't tell me Alfie Devine, because I'm against any kid playing in this environment. I spoke about it the past couple of days. No youth players touching this environment right now, because otherwise you're going to have Pape Sarr situations happening again. It's the kids that will get scapegoated. I don't want that. This is not how to develop young players. Listen, we didn't know he was going to go to a back 4, and we didn't know that Pape Sarr was going to start. None of us knew that. When we did the match predictions, we all predicted 4-1, 3-0, 3-1, 4. We all predicted a whooping, right?
Yeah.
So regardless, and that was without anyone thinking of we got what we knew what was coming, but it just happened far worse than what we thought. That's you knew you were going to get knocked out. You just didn't think you were going to get knocked out twice in the same fight. So it is what it is, man. And I think tomorrow night, can I ask you guys about tomorrow? Because they've got no Martinez and they've got no Varane. Now, I watched Man United yesterday against Brighton. I thought Brighton played better, but Man United did create chances and they did hold on. But Brighton are better than us. There's no doubt. The way they play, they're a better team than us. But do you think with Son and Kane, it's possible that we could maybe beat Man United? Do you think that with our defence that we could maybe contain them? They've got no Bruno, and Bruno's been so influential to them. Do you know what I'm thinking? I mean, tell me what you guys think, right? I think tomorrow night's game might be a bit closer than what a lot of us think. more because Man United are missing players? I mean, or do you think, still, shut up? You know we're going to get bad. Just stop it. Well, Rafish, what do you think about that? And then we'll go to Michael because he was shaking his head.
Yeah.
No, I actually agree with you. It's like I have this tick of shaking my head when I want to say something, you know. It's but go on, just go on. I will go grab myself a beer in that time.
That's right. Help yourself. I was going to say, like, I mean, in terms of tomorrow, I mean, that's the crazy thing with football. You can never predict what's going to happen. I mean, to your point, no Varane, no Martinez. I mean, saying that Maguire and Shaw did keep a clean sheet against Brighton, but with Son and Kane, they are more than capable of targeting them. I think, you know, if they given the right service, you know, if we start going forward, then they'll have their centre backs have something to think about. But I think formation wise, how are we going to line up ahead of tomorrow? I mean, it doesn't make a difference. I mean, the problem is if you're going, whether you're going 3 at the back or 4 at the back, you know, if the players are not carrying out the instructions, you know, you're just asking for trouble. You're just going to leave gaps. And I think we know the strengths of Man United. You know, they go forward. You know, they're direct. Obviously, Anthony on the right side, and I mean, I think midfield, obviously, Casemiro and Eriksen and Sabitzer obviously covering for Bruno. And I think without midfield, it's getting weak. I mean, Højbjerg and Skip, you know, they're just unreliable every passing week. I mean, Bentancur is a massive miss for us. I mean, he's the one that would bring energy to the middle of the park. You could even argue Basuma. I mean, I know Basuma has had a difficult season, you know, with injuries and not getting game time, but I don't think he'll do any worse than Oliver Skip, that's for sure. I mean, so that's the thing. Like, we need more legs in midfield because when you play against a team that's half decent, you know, 9 times out of 10, you know, we could be in for a long night, especially tomorrow, especially at the Tottenham Stadium against Man U.
Do you think we're going to lose tomorrow, Rathish?
I think, you know, I think right now we're very low on confidence. I mean, Man United will be on the high, of course, getting to an FA Cup final. I mean, my heart thinks that we could nick a result like a score draw, but in my head thinks that Man United could turn us over. I mean, especially, like I said, with the attack they got. I mean, defensively, we're leaking too many goals. Was it 51 goals we've let in this season, and there's still 6 games to go? Like, I mean, look, last season we've let in 40 goals, so we know defensively we've got 100 times worse. So yeah, that's a big fear.
Michael, Matthew, go on. You were shaking your head. You're like nah.
Yeah. Stella, I love your optimism. I really do, but I can't.
I'm trying to play devil's advocate because I'm the host, right? I'm just trying to create the debate.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I would love us to win. I would love us to beat Man United, but I can't. I can't see how we contain Rashford. I can't see with the fullbacks that we've got how we keep them out. Yes, Son and Kane. Yes. But you put our 2 players and they've probably got 5 or 6 that are better, more dominant than we are. You know, Casemiro. Who's gonna control Casemiro in midfield? Listen, I'll come on the show the next time and say I'm wrong, but I cannot see us. I think it could be a Tottenham 1, Man United 3. I hope I'm wrong, but they've just got too much for us. We are in relegation form. Yeah. I'm sad to say.
Dio, do you think we've got a chance tomorrow? Do you think that we can get a result against the Man United team that's going to be missing a few players?
Yeah, I mean, they haven't shown anything United this year that that they can keep a clean sheet, really. And with the injuries that they have, you know, we can at least get a goal, but it's going to be their attack. I think this game is in the midfield, you know, and unfortunately, I think even with the injuries they have a depth in the midfield that we don't. Short week, Højbjerg and Skip are probably going to start, maybe Sar, but whoever it is, one of them is going to be, you know, tired legs back end of the season. And United can bring on, say whatever you want, Fred, McTominay, Eriksen, and that's where this game is going to really.
Casemiro.
Yeah, I think you know. So it's going to be tough for us to really control the game there. Are our wingers in form? I don't know. We don't think so. if we go with the 3, if we go with a 4, who know, your guess is as good as mine. Again, I still think they should win. Anything else would be a surprise. And but back to your kind of what you're saying earlier, Mason, we have some cachet with Mason coaching. Who knows if he can get a tune out of these players, at least for a game, maybe get them up for this game. But I'm not confident. It's not a sure thing. I'm not going to go say we're going to win. I would be surprised with the tie.
Yeah.
Michael?
I kind of echo what you said. I don't think this game will be a jabbing like we received at St. James's Park, right? I think it will be a much closer game than people think. And listen, I understand why everyone is so, in the dumps, right? We're thinking about this game because, like, why would you have any confidence? I'm not saying we are going to win. I'm just saying I've watched United against Sevilla. I watched them against Brighton and some other matches, right? And they are not as good as they have been at the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year, when they were slapping everyone around, they were like proper good, right? And right now, they are still better than us, right? But it's not like they are like this impregnable fortress or whatever, right? I think we can head their defense. Their defense is weak right now, but so is ours, right? And that's the issue. So for me, there are two scenarios for this game. One, that it's going to be a goal fiesta. Like, absolutely both teams are going to be shitting bricks and, like letting in one goal after another and some crazy scoreline like 3-3 or 4-3 or whatever. And the other one is that everyone is going to be shitting bricks and trying their hardest to not concede, and it's going to end like 1-0 or 2-1 to them, right? So that's the way I see this game. Like our biggest issue is the midfield. Let's not face it, right? I mean, other than our shitty defenders, but in those type of games, the midfield is the issue, right? Because if we had Bentancur fit, right, and like his double pivot with Højbjerg was much better than what we are seeing right now. With all due respect to Skippy and Sarr, right? But they are not on the level of Bentancur. And Højbjerg's level has dropped massively without Bentancur covering his ass, right? So for me, it's hard for me to predict anything other than United loss. I just don't think they will come to our ground and slap us about, right? And if they do, I mean, those players already have many things to answer for, right? Many like shambolic performances this season to answer for. But if after losing 6-1, they are going to, lose again at home, like 3 or 4-0, oh my God! Like the only positive I would see that way is that there won't be a single soul in that stadium that's not absolutely pissed to the heavens, right? And I hope that when they keep conceding goals, that the leave out chance with every single goal will be stronger and stronger and stronger, right? That's my hope if they get a drubbing.
If we look at the league table, we're currently 7th. But there's 6 points between 3rd and 7th. We've got, 3rd and 4th have got games in hand on us. 5th place doesn't, but we've got to go away to 5th place. We've got to go away to 6th place. We've got 4th place coming to our ground Thursday. I think Brighton, them losing tonight's killed them, I think, for top 4. But I think for Europa, they're definitely still in the Europa hunt because they've got games in hand. Do you see Spurs finishing Europa Cup, guys?
I see a possibility, right?
Yeah. I'm on current form. I mean, mathematically, it's not impossible, but the way we're performing, I'm just not convinced. I think we need all the players to step up at this moment in time. But
with Liverpool and United, we can almost somewhat say because of our form, losses there. And where does that leave us with the other teams point wise?
To be fair, I also see us getting slapped by Villa, right?
Yeah, Villa, right. Yeah. So, there could, any given Sunday there could be a surprise, but just with our running with the last couple of games, it makes it much more difficult. Probably 7th, 8th is what we're going to land at, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Let's say we do get a result against United, okay? Crazier things have happened. Let's say we do. That puts us on 56 points in 5th place. Suddenly, listen, Man United will still have 2 games in hand on us. Newcastle. I do not believe Spurs will get top 4. I think Europa Cup is the best we can hope for now. If we do beat Man United, it's between us, Villa, and Liverpool. I've got a funny feeling Liverpool might sneak top 4 because they've found form. I'm not saying they will, but they need us to beat Man United for that to happen. But if we do beat Man United, I don't know, guys. Does that not change everything, or is it just the usual false hope?
For me, forget about Champions League.
Forget that. I'd say, I mean Europa Cup, just Europa Cup.
Yeah.
There's a possibility. I'd have to look at Villa's run in as well. Brighton's. I'm not that familiar with who got 2 left, but
Villa has an extremely tough run.
Villa have got to go to Anfield, I think, and Old Trafford away from home. So
and I think they are playing City too, if I'm not mistaken.
No, they played City twice. Yeah, I got the run in.
Sorry.
Yeah, so Villa have got Brighton at home, Spurs at home, then away at Liverpool, Man United, and Wolves. Liverpool's running is Villa at home, Brentford, and Fulham, and obviously Tottenham, and then away from home is Southampton and Leicester. And then our running is Villa away, Leeds away, Liverpool away, Man United tomorrow, Brentford, and Palace.
But I think kind of go ahead. Like something we always say on this channel, at least what I heard here is like, let's say we kind of do pull a couple upsets, United, Liverpool, and by miracle we get into Champions League. So what? Levy's going to think that he's justified. He's the winner of all that. We're the losers if we get top 4. I think if that happens, in a way where we're going to land is more realistic and justifies what we believe of this ownership. This is as the squad and this current form is as good as it can do, with the improvements all the clubs are doing around us.
There's one other thing I wanted to run past you guys. Okay, now it's pretty much looking like it's a done deal. Poch is going to Chelsea. He's going to be with Todd Bowley, right? Now, what are the chances of this happening after?
Holding scored. Wow. Holding scored. My word.
It ain't so, please. Rather than go United.
Chelsea have got the money. They've got a lunatic chairman prepared to spend the money. He gets to stay in London. He reunites with Poch. The only negative is he won't be in Europe.
I think. However hard we want to criticize Levy, right? And there is a metric fact of things that we can criticize him for, right? One thing he hasn't done was sell players to Chelsea and Arsenal. And I think in this current situation, you've said plenty of times, Tedes, he is shitting bricks right now, right? He's scared of the backlash, right? And I think the worst thing that he could do is to sell to Chelsea, right? I think he will try his absolute hardest not to sell Kane to Chelsea, right? If of course, assuming they come in for him, right? Unless the money is absolutely like, that an offer that you cannot refuse, like 180 million or something crazy and stupid like that, right? Unless something like this happens, I think it won't happen. Kane won't go to Chelsea, won't be sold to Chelsea, right? Different thing is whether he runs his contract down and chooses Chelsea then, right? But then it's on Kane's head, not on Levy's head, right? To a certain extent, of course. So Poch to Chelsea, listen, it will break my fucking heart if it happens. It probably will happen, right? It will
Poch
absolutely
is
break
gone.
my heart.
Poch is gone. He's
Yeah.
going Chelsea, man. It's done.
And as much as you don't like the guy that I'm going to mention, but I think he said something like about this topic proper yesterday on Benson Sims channel, right? Lee McQueen. He said that Poch.
I've got no issue with Lee McQueen.
Yeah.
I've got no issue with him.
Yes. Sorry. What? Never mind that. Right. Just what he said was that he loves Poch, right? He wants him back, not under this ownership, whatever, right? But as soon as he goes to Chelsea, he's not Poch, he's another Chelsea manager, right? And we need to treat him
Yeah.
like that. When he comes to our ground, we need to treat him as another Chelsea manager, right? And then if he gets sacked, leaves Chelsea, whatever, and we have a different ownership, I will still be open to him coming back, right? Managers is not really the same thing for me as players going to opposing clubs, right? Listen, Poch has to work, right? He has to feed his family, right? I know he's a millionaire probably anyways, right? But he has to work, right? And he cannot wait endlessly for us to call him, right? If certain parts of our board don't want him here, and there is conflict like within our club whether we want to bring him or not, right? If he won't be waiting forever, right? So I don't really fault him for going to another club. It, as I said, it hurts like a motherfucker that it's Chelsea, right? But yeah, like as I said, he will be another Chelsea manager for me as long as he is there, right? Not Pochettino.
I think it's a bit funny because so many fans were singing "He's Magic," and I was really angry listening to that song because I'm thinking, we had the right manager at this club and you booed him out rather than booing the board to back him. You've now got Stellini, so rather than focusing all your energy on Levy, you're talking about Pochettino, as if the man that the chairman threw under a bus is going to come back and say, "Hey, Daniel, hi, buddy, you okay?" And I just find it crazy that our fan base just sang his name. Because now, how do you feel singing his name now? He's going to be in a Chelsea kit. It's like, I don't know,
Is there not a level of like sarcasm when they do that? With me not being there, are they kind of taking, the mick a little bit about that chant? Because usually they sing that when we're playing like shit and we have nothing else to cheer about.
No, I just think it was like fans being desperate for good football, and they wanted to show their discontent with current managing stuff, right? Which I think, by the way, is a listen, I don't want to really get into it, right? But singing another manager's name when you have like your own manager there in the dugout is like the worst dickhead move that you can do as a fan base, in my opinion, right? But listen, it's just my opinion. Like, don't. I hope nobody takes offense about it, right? But one thing actually with Pochettino going to Chelsea, which, as Stereo said, is more like almost certainly going to happen, right? Is that it kind of, as he said, invalidates the song, right? Because for past like 4 weeks maybe when we were playing and we weren't good, right? You could sometimes hear like Levy out chants, Daniel Levy, get out of our club, etc., right? But they were they were often like quickly dumbed down by the "His Magic chant, right? Now it won't happen, right? If they start singing "His Magic when he's the manager of Chelsea, I mean, that there are certain like standards that the fans should hold, right? And singing like the rivaling club's manager name, it's not one of them, right? So I mean, it kind of helps the Levy out movement, right? Because what are you going to sing other than the team songs or the Levy out song, right?
Well, we've already established that a large or a certain portion of this fan base is part of the problem. Whether they always were, or they got infected by the ownership. Sure, with all the recent results and movements, we've seen, a lot more people open to Levy out kind of dialogue and things like that. But I always remember this. Remember when Conte first came to Spurs, and we were heads down fans, away. Our new stadium has never been a fortress. It might be too big to be, but you remember when he came and he was cheering. He was trying to get the people going. That was the passion he brought, and it was him kind of waking up, kind of that portion of the fans who kind of just drag their feet, who are kind of capitulate with these results and how they view success. And so by the end, you saw it in Conte's body language, just how checked out he was, how we had infected him, whether the club and partly the fans. So but yeah, I kind of always remember that, because he did come and he kind of did bring, reminded us to play with passion and as fans, and how integral we are to our team's success away and home.
I agree. What happens if Man United come in for Harry Kane and they bid 90 million? Let's call it 90 million. But then Chelsea come in and say there's 130. What does Daniel Levy do then?
I mean, if he has like at least a bit
He's
of
taking the money,
honoring him, a bit like of self-preservation, then he will reject the Chelsea offer, right?
That's the only thing that Chelsea have going for them, is that they have a new owner who will pay whatever, for a player he wants. He's proven that already. If they really want him and Levy has a price in his mind, he probably would match it, I just hope they don't try to bundle some fucking Chelsea cast-offs to us, I'm not sure how popular that is here, but, try to unload some guys with Kane if that were to happen.
You're telling me, guys, that Daniel Levy is going to turn down an extra £40 million?
I think with Daniel Levy,
I don't think so.
I think with Levy, like, he's obviously money orientated. I mean, it's like two sides to a coin, isn't there? Like, one side you'd say if Kane goes to Manchester United, I think they get an upgrade on their striker, because obviously the ones they have, like Martial, who's injury prone, and Weghorst is a backup. Whereas if he goes to Chelsea, I think 130 million, and as Dio rightly mentioned, Todd Bowley's going to pay over the odds no matter what. I mean,
4-1, lol.
Haaland scored.
Haaland scored 4-1.
Oh, yeah, that's that fantasy points then.
They're down. Haaland scored.
Arsenal have conceded 4 against City, 3 against
Southampton.
Was it
2
2
against
against
Liverpool?
2 against Liverpool, 2 against West Ham.
West Ham. Yeah.
and their defense has fallen apart.
Yeah, they've never had the depth. That was one thing most rational Arsenal fans were saying, is that if we saw it with Jesus going down, we're seeing it with Saliba, I believe, going down. They don't have the players, especially in the back line too.
Dio, let me tell you something. Send all those fans to me. I don't want to hear it, because for 5 years, all I heard was, oh, you talk about Poch and the job he's doing. Oh, you talk about this wonderful young team you've got. Oh, you talk about progression. Where's the trophies? All I hear about is, but we got to the Champions League final and we nearly won the league. That's all I ever heard from Arsenal fans. Well, guess what, Arsenal fans? I don't want to hear about your young team. I don't want to hear about progression. I don't want to hear about nearly winning the league. I don't want to hear it. Yeah. And any of you that bring it anywhere near me, I am going to send you packing to Uzbekistan, one-way ticket. Get out of here.
I don't have my sympathies either.
Yeah, listen, Dio, I know. You're the messenger. I'm not shooting you, but I'm sending a message back. Back.
You know what the funniest thing is? Because if you guys remember, right, our team that finished third and second in the 15-16, 16-17 season, right? On average, it was younger than this Arsenal team, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is we finished on 86 points in that 16-17 season, right? Right now, Arsenal are on 75 and they have 5 matches to go. So if those bottle jobs don't finish higher than us, then just saying, right? Their perfect, amazing season. The best football in the league, the best team in the league, best holding mid, best centre back pairing, best fucking right back in Ben White, right? Best
Yeah, Michael,
Starboy
they could
Saka,
end
Martinelli.
trophyless. They could be trophyless.
They can fuck right off, right? They can fuck right off.
And the thing is,
Because-
they still got to play
Yeah,
Bright.
yeah.
They still got to play Brighton, Chelsea. I know they're doing terribly. But
Yeah,
it's a London
oh
derby.
come on, Chelsea's 3 points. Let's be serious about it,
Yeah,
right?
okay, yeah. Newcastle away,
Yeah,
away. Forest, who are fighting for their lives, and I think Wolves. That's they're running, but yeah, I think, like you said, if they don't get high, if they don't get higher than the 86 points they recruit, then because it's funny that whenever we,
I just want to know where Stefan is. Where is Stefan?
Oh yeah, where is he?
Oh, it's
I'll tell you,
Stefan.
I know
Where
he
is Stefan?
I know where he is. Stefan,
Oh,
do you know
boy.
what? If you didn't have such a big mouth when you come on this show with your chest out, I would have been calm. But no, I'm not going to be calm with you.
Harry Kane, the bottle job, right? Vardy had the better career. You know, Giroud is a better player. Whatever, like all
That
those
word
things, right?
clutch. That word
Yeah,
clutch
well,
he kept using. He's not
Harry
clutch. He's not
Harry
clutch.
Kane is
He's
not
not
clutch, right? Like that like sorry to go at you, Stefan, when you are not here, right? But I absolutely hate the argument of why isn't he clutch? Why isn't he carrying his team, right? Because football is 11 versus 11. You don't play solo, right? Harry Kane can score 10 goals by himself. If his defense concedes 11, then that means fuck all, right? So don't go at me with Messi carrying Barcelona, right? When he had fucking Iniesta, Busquets, and Xavi in the midfield, right? And I don't remember who the center backs were and the right back and left back, right? But this team was absolutely amazing. So you can be Messi and you can carry this team when you are well aware that your defense isn't going to concede many goals or even hardly any goals, right? And with our squad, it's always been Harry Kane, Son in back, not this season, back in the previous seasons, and then what? Then what? Like Toby and Jan. We had that magic 11 under Mauricio Pochettino, and we finished on 86 points, right? But that was the best that this team could achieve because we didn't have the bench, right? That's the issue. So I cannot blame Kane for it, right? I cannot blame him for not stepping up in the finals, right? He had 2 finals that he participated in, right? One of them he had Ryan Mason as a coach, and the other one he was injured, right? So like, get out of here, like. He's a world class player. I'm going to argue. I'm going to die on that hill, right? He's a world class player. He shouldn't be criticized for being part of the team that's the worst team to win trophy set. Literally the worst team to win trophy set, right? Because the pressure is one of the biggest in the world, right? To win a trophy, and it's the least suited club to win trophies for me. So, Foik.
Foig.
Foik.
Listen, guys, I'm just going to go around quickly. Everyone can have their last say, and then I'm going to send everyone to Mari's channel for his last ever stream. I'll put the link actually now. Let me put the link in the chat. Where is it? I've got it somewhere. There it is. Mari's stream is down below. Make sure you go and check it out, guys, straight after. Rathish, final words before the Mason meltdown.
Yeah, final words. Big up for Man City for derailing the Arsenal's title challenge, the Gunners title challenge.
Arsenal.
And secondly, the Man United game. Yeah, I mean, let's see the protest. Protest will be more exciting pre-kickoff to see. It's good that the message is getting across, and obviously on the field, hopefully they can at least give us something to cheer about. Whether they do that remains to be seen. So yeah.
Big up to Rafish. Thanks for joining the show tonight, bro.
Thank you.
As always, Matthew.
Yeah, looking forward to the game. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing Daniel Levy shrink and get even shorter in his seat when the kind of the pressure ranks up on him. I hope the team, not so much the result. I hope we get some sort of identity back and you know, I want to get back to enjoying watching Tottenham play. So I'm just looking forward to some sort of a resemblance of what we used to be. Kind of enjoy going on the show and kind of interacting with all you guys. So thanks for kind of having me on. And I love Man City. Basically, I love Man City.
Blue moon.
Sete.
Michael, what's
Yeah.
your last? What do you want to finish up?
Like, I want to say I'm kind of sorry, but I'm really not for going at Arsenal, right? But like all opposition fans have to understand, I'm in absolute like shit when it comes to supporting Spurs, right? We are in an absolute like depths of hell, so we have to react something, right? We have to react.
Fucking guy.
Sorry,
Oh,
Michael.
yeah. Listen. We know Richarlison is a failure, right? Come at us with something more important.
We know
than
we're shit.
Richarlison is a failure, right?
We know what we are.
Know we are shit, right? But so are you, and that's it, right? So are you. You bottled this title. You know it. What does the Steve guy from the Big Six? He always says it in his like perfect Manchester accent. That the blue shark is coming. The blue shark is coming. It's smelling blood.
Yeah, he called that.
He's smelling blood, and you guys are bleeding or whatever. You know, I don't know how to do the accent, right? But I absolutely love it. And well, you know what? It came true. Shit happens, right?
That's an evil laugh. That's an evil laugh.
Yeah, we can only laugh, right? We are in a we are in the shit.
We've got to do it. We've got to do it. Dio, your final words, and thanks for coming on. You're always welcome back, my man.
Thanks for having me. I'm always listening and watching. I guess my final word, everyone's kind of already discussed, you know, what we think, kind of what my sentiments about moving forward with Mason and then the result with Arsenal and City. So, you know, with my time, it's uncontroversial. It's a controversial opinion. I went back and watched the game against Newcastle, and because I couldn't watch it live, and someone said it. You know, they said it once we went to the back three, it was a 1-1 game, right? And I know we played like shit. We have missing players. It was a passionless effort. A team that was unused to playing in the back four, and they looked like it for 20 minutes. You know, unfortunately, we were playing a team with, you know, like Newcastle had a lot on the line at home, really fighting for something where we kind of weren't. And because I already kind of knew the result, it was easy to watch the game back. And I saw kind of moments of, you know, Kane almost had a chance, you know, and then Son almost kind of had a chance. And that would have really changed you know, we had a 5-1 drubbing coming our way. You know, we always give it pretty high, 5 against them, 7 against them. Usually we keep it around 5 or 4. So 6 was kind of our highest in a long time, right? But, you know, after that 20 minutes, they kind of settled down into that game and really kind of stuck in. And that was kind of one thing I like, you know, I could at least say, okay, that was kind of a positive, you know. We let one more after that. But again, you know, we know how bad our defenders are, and that was going to happen. So I don't know. I went back and I watched and I said, you know, it wasn't, I guess in lieu of everything that has happened the last month, it was kind of just like it put the bow on just how shit the season's been. But I don't know. It was worth the watch. It was a game worth the watch and worth kind of seeing how we reacted, you know. Anyways, thanks for having me.
Dio, always welcome, as is Rathish and Matthew and Michael and every other fan, even if you're not Spurs, especially Stefan. I'm waiting for you, Stefan. I'm waiting. I just want to quickly say a big thank you to Jack Pierce for becoming a member today. Big up, Jack Pierce. Much appreciated, my man. I also want to say thank you to our channel sponsor, Surrender Ale, brewed in Woolwich for wankers. Thank you for sponsoring the channel. As always, leave it out. Always leave it out.
Always
big up to the protesters. Big up to the protesters tomorrow.
Absolutely. Protest tomorrow. We won't stop till the club is sold. 22 years. Time is up. Enoch out. 5:30 p.m. opposite the club shop. Be there. I'll be there. And I'm looking forward to meeting you all. Let's see what happens. Guys, Mari's show down below. I've also linked it in the comments. Please go. We're all going to go over there now. Go, watch. Let's do a big nice bye-bye for Mari and just have some fun with it and talk Tottenham as well. And actually, let's spend another 2 hours just laughing at Arsenal, right? That's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
With pleasure, mate.
with pleasure, right? All right, Rafish, Matthew, Michael, Dio, big up, guys. Big up everyone in the comments.
Thank you. Big up.
Come on, you Spurs. And Levy
Come on,
out.
you Spurs. Levy out.
Levy out.
Leave it out.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.